Hey guys, we've got some more words from True Mother. I'm going to name this message Harvest with Gratitude, the fruits that heaven has prepared. Okay? Harvest with gratitude, the fruits that heaven has prepared. Now, these words come from our True Mother. I believe she was with some leaders having dinner. This is around the American Thanksgiving weekend, which is November 24, and she was in Korea, and they just finished eating together. Mother says, "Did you enjoy your dinner? Did you eat with a heart of gratitude?" Everybody applauded, okay? Naturally, of course, maybe they're grateful, happy to be with True Mother. Yes, Mother, yes. We are people of happiness, Mother continues. Happy people naturally think, act, and implement with a heart of gratitude. Isn't that so? Yes! Applause, applause, applause. So, I just want to stop here for a minute. Mother's asking, did you enjoy your dinner? Yes. Did you eat with a heart of gratitude? Yes. But really, really, are we living with a heart of gratitude? Are we grateful? Okay, so you're there in the room with True Mother, you just ate. Of course you're happy, right? But did you really take in that moment with a heart of gratitude? Did you think and act and implement that moment truly with a heart of gratitude? And then Mother says, we are people of happiness, right? Happy people naturally think, act, and implement with a heart of gratitude. So what's your logic here? Maybe you're thinking, yes, we're supposed to be happy, so we're happy, and therefore we think and act with a heart of gratitude. No, that's upside down. Don't you think? Is it that people who are happy are naturally grateful? Or is it people who force themselves to be grateful set themselves up to experience life with more joy and happiness? Because honestly, life is not easy. Life is full of challenges and full of problems, as far as I can tell. We can definitely look at life with more than enough reasons to not be grateful at all. I believe in these simple words that just sound like an opening greeting, Mother is giving us the most fundamental teaching of all. Of course, you're happy if Mother's there. Of course, you're happy if the sun is shining. Of course, you're happy if you've just eaten. The question is your happiness preceded by your gratitude? Because if we implement thoughts and actions with gratitude, even the challenges that we face, we will be able to embrace with more joy. I think Mother is teaching us here. She's not asking us simple questions. Furthermore, Mother continues, after 6,000 years, Heavenly Parents' dream has been realized on earth through True Parents, and a new chapter of history is being written. Mother didn't say has been written, is being written. So this is good news, guys. This is good news. Especially if we look at the little things that we are challenged with every day and remember that we are living on the cusp, not just at the end of, but as the new era is being written with our beloved True Parents after 6,000 years, that is the time period that we are in. And I believe if we can remember that more frequently, it will be easier for us to think, act, and implement with gratitude. Mother says, there should therefore be a central nation that ensures the firm settlement of Chon Il-guk. Shouldn't there? So Mother's really talking about substance. For real substance. You are on a path unlike any other in history, and it leads toward a heavenly unified Korea, a heavenly unified world. Actually, living in this time when true parents are alive, you can participate in their providence. This is big news. That is something to be grateful for, something that brings you to tears, isn't it? So, perhaps that's something that we shouldn't just reflect on every Thanksgiving, or every Sunday, or every Saturday, or every holy day, but maybe that's something we should reflect on more often than that. It was in preparing to receive the Messiah on his promised return that Christian history unfolded. What does that mean? The movement of Christianity, the early power and momentum that was built up around Christianity was not just the core gospel of Jesus's blood atoning for our sin, but that he was coming back, that Jesus was returning. This was what gave great urgency to the early Christian movement. Urgency that people were willing even to die. Probably if some of those early martyrs were told that, Jesus was going to come like 2,000 years later, some of their faith may have been more shaken. It's possible. Because you have to understand that the early Christians were dealing with the theme, dealing with the idea of Jesus' imminent return. Imminent return. And in the environment of Jesus' imminent return, factors such as setting up policies and structures for the church to exist for centuries was not their primary concern. Their primary concern was, how many people can we tell of this incredible news? Because those who are connected to this, by the time of his return, will be connected to the full salvation and the resurrection. There was a sense of urgency. Over the next 2,000 years, however, a human-centered system emerged that prescribed a certain way of practicing one's faith. But conscientious believers that wanted to venerate God were not satisfied. What is Mother saying here? Okay, over the next 2,000 years, a human-centered system emerged. So, a human-centered system emerged that prescribed a certain way of practicing one's faith. All right, so what are we talking about here? Christianity began without knowing why Jesus became the Messiah, right? Did I miss that part? Preparing to receive the Messiah on his promised return that Christianity unfolded. Okay, and I missed a bit. And yet we have very little content describing the time with Jesus. In other words, Christianity began without knowing why Jesus became the Messiah or what his true nature was. Okay? So I'm going back a little bit. I made a mistake. Bear with me. No editing. This is raw. Okay? There was this urgency in the early church. Jesus was returning. This was the spirit of Christianity of that era. And yet, Mother says, we don't have any content about, so little we know about what Jesus said, what his life was like. There's very little record of Jesus' life. In other words, Christianity began without really knowing why Jesus became the Messiah or what his true nature was. This is a reality. We know something. We know something. But we don't really know. This is a big problem. It's like, why did he come? Why did he really come? The Christians at that time didn't really know. Why? What was his actual mission? And therefore, if he does return, what will he do when he returns? They had an understanding, but the understanding was not complete. But nonetheless, Jesus said he would return, and this is where Mother says, I'll repeat, Christianity began this whole movement waiting for him. And over 2,000 years, a human-centered system emerged to practice our faith. So, we started with only a very basic understanding of his mission, a basic understanding of his Christianity, of his character, and then based on this, Christianity for 2,000 years developed a human-centered system to practice our faith. So what does all these three things add up to? Well, it's some problems. It creates some problems. We didn't really understand who he was or what his mission was, and yet based on that simple understanding, we created a system that everybody needs to follow in order to practice their faith. So it's a good intention, it's a good idea, but in this 2,000-year history, Mother's basically pointing out there's some fundamental things that are missing. Not only did we not fully understand then, but we can't fully understand now, especially centering on the human-centered practices of faith. Because of that, Mother says, conscientious believers that wanted to venerate God were forced to find their own way. So you can say the Protestant Reformation, you can say the many denominations, you can say ultimately culminating in this fervent Christian movement that erupted in Korea, where many prophesied would be, the Jerusalem of the East. Many prophesied that the light, right? The light would come from the east. Many early missionaries to Korea prophesied that Korea would be the lamp bearer to the world, right? These are some historical facts. Rather than learning about God in the church system, they sought to serve God in a bigger and broader environment. Despite not knowing it, they were on a quest for heaven. The path to finding the Creator was arduous. Nonetheless, for the sake of God's era, there must be a nation in which such an environment has been established, which I think is Korea, it's Cheonilguk, and beyond Korea, the heavenly unified world. Mother's looking for substance. Mother's looking for a people, because this is God's idea. This was heaven's dream from the beginning, from the very first family. This was the purpose and dream. So Mother's reminding us about these historical religious trends. And it's certainly not just to serve the realm of Christianity, because Jesus didn't come for Christianity. Christianity didn't even exist when Jesus came, right? So Jesus didn't come just for the Jews, right? So Mother's really kind of putting a stamp on where we are in the timeline of human history. All things are coming to this final conclusion. And now Mother reminds us, there are more than 8 billion people in the world today. I don't know if you all are aware, but I think about 2 weeks ago or so, humanity crossed the threshold for the first time in human history of 8 billion people. We have 8 billion people alive, over 8 billion people alive on the earth today. In the early days of our church, Mother says, it was about 3 billion people. 3 billion. The number has grown from 3 billion people to 8 billion people just throughout the history of our church history. Okay? It's like maybe if we just focused on the maternity wards in the hospitals and, shared the blessing there, we would have a greater result between then and now. Who knows, right? So it's amazing how much the world has multiplied in the last 6 decades or so. Incredible. I said I would like to see 1/3 of humankind come to know about Heavenly Parent. Wouldn't that be great? Unfortunately, I am not so young anymore. It is important that we achieve the mission of having 1/3 of humanity attend Heavenly Parent together with me. Together with me. This is not a blessing just for you, but it is for the world. So we're setting up our goals now, at least by 2027, to somehow achieve this benchmark of 1/3. But the ultimate thing that Mother's talking about here is within her lifetime. So soon Mother will reach 80 years old. And I ask many leaders, how old do you think Mother will be before she ascends to the spirit world? I really want to ask you this. You know, many people say 120. Okay, great. Or 100. Okay, great. And of course, everybody wants Mother to live to 100 or 120. But I want to ask you a couple of questions about this. Number one, if she does live to 120, if she does live to 100, how much do you expect she would be able to do? How much will she be able to do at 90 or 95 or 100? Already we can see how much Mother invested to travel the world. I mean, it's more than any 80-year-old woman should be expected to do. Or be capable, or, you know, physically. She's given birth to 14 children, 4 of them cesareans, right? So from one point of view, you can say, even if she lives to 100, how much would she be practically involved on a day-to-day basis? Will she still be able to only sleep, 3 hours a night and listen to 10 hours of reports every day and give direct, detailed instruction every day after 10 years, after 20 years, practically speaking? And perhaps a more important question is, should we expect her to be still sleeping 3 hours a day or 2 hours a day and listening to 10 hours of reports every day and giving instruction to every department, to every nation, to every subregion, to every organization every day? Should we really expect that out of her? Or are we ready to stand up and say, I will do this, Mother, with or without you. I will do this in your honor, in True Parents' honor. We will do it. Do we have that kind of spirit, truly? Or is it just some leaders that have that spirit? And then as we go down, do the members think, oh, the leaders will do it? The families think, well, somebody else will do it? Or the children will think somebody else will do it? Do we think somebody else is going to do it? Do we think Mother's going to do it? And some leaders who have the time and resources, just they're going to do it? What kind of people will we be? Recently I've been asking the leaders and even some of the members as I travel, I ask them, you, stand up. Right now, you watching this video, imagine everyone else you know in your nation connected to the movement. Just imagine they, unfortunately, die. And it's just you left. If you have a family, okay, keep your family. It's you and your family left in your nation. So what would you do? What would you do? What would you feel Heavenly Parent guiding you to do? What would your calling be? If you were the only representative left of True Parents in your nation, what would you do? What would your mission be? I mean, I think that most of you, no matter whether you joined 40 years ago or 6 months ago, maybe if you're thinking straight, you might think practically, I would have to take responsibility for the nation, right? I would have to be like the national representative of True Parents. I would need to take on that responsibility no matter what. Isn't that so? So why would you think that way? You'd think that way because you know what you have the calling that you have the blessing that True Parents gave you. So naturally you would think, I have to be responsible. My second question is, then why is it necessary for everyone else to die for you to feel that level of responsibility? Don't you think we should all have that level of responsibility and then work together with that kind of power to bring about real change? I think so. So, when we think about mother's dream to see 1/3 of the world attend Heavenly Parent, that's a good dream. That's a beautiful dream. And when I reflect on mother's dream, I feel like mother's looking at the world, watching the sun rise, feeling that this is actually a possibility. And that, the reality is, of course, there's millions, billions of people who believe in heaven, believe in God. But it's like mother wants us to go a little bit deeper. She wants us to understand that that God is our creator, that God is our parent, but God is also the harmonious union of masculine and feminine, and not just in some kind of scientific way. It is our heavenly parent with a paternal and a maternal love for us since the beginning. And it is our true parents who are able to unfold this providence. Really, Jesus was able to unfold the providence of Heavenly Father, truly, and Mother, who is able to unfold the providence of Heavenly Mother. And true parents who are able to establish the substance of Heavenly Parent in substance on the earth, in our lifetime, by the way. And on this foundation, Mother could declare, we now will revere and honor Heavenly Parent. This is the breaking news. So this is actually something that should be breaking news in the world. And so how do we honor Heavenly Parent? You can think of many religious practices to kind of honor Heavenly Parent, but it's actually in the name, parent. There's many people in the world who have a decent idea about what it means to respect and honor your parent. So translate that into how would you honor your Heavenly Parent? You have to put the concerns of your Heavenly Parent in your heart somewhere. You can't solve all of the world's problems. But you who live in Bangladesh, you who live in Pakistan, you who live in Nepal, you who live in Central Asia, you who live in Mongolia, you who live in China, you who live in Indochina, you who live in Sri Lanka, you who live in the Maldives, you who live in America, you who live in Japan, you who live in Korea, wherever you live, whether you're 5 years old, 25 years old, 45 years old, 95 years old, whether you're male or female, you who are you, consider that question of what is my unique contribution to the dream of our Heavenly Parent? What is my nation's contribution to the dream of Heavenly Parent? And what is my contribution to that? What is my contribution to my family? These things working together with your calling, with your dream, based on who you are, where you are, you have a unique way to understand that. You actually have a unique way to revere your Heavenly Parent in that sense. I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think that there's a lot that we can do together before Mother goes to the spirit world. And probably, if we just continue on as we are, the day will come when Mother passes. And you will say, I didn't realize it would be so soon. Just like you probably said when Father passed. I thought she would go on forever. So in some sense, when people tell me Mother will live till 120 or Mother will live to 100, I feel, yeah, that's a really mark of faith, and maybe it's true also. But another part of me worries that it's perhaps immature to expect such a thing, and ill-prepared to expect such a thing. And that if the day comes when Mother passes and you have to say, oh, I didn't realize, then it will be because you didn't live like every day was a day to harvest heaven's fruits. And you thought, well, we've got 20 years, or we've got 40 years. That's why when we think about our goals leading up to 2027, even 5 years is too long. Because Mother's living every day with a sense of urgency. But not just urgency, with great hope. So just like the early Christians lived every day with it was their sense of urgency that helped to spread the gospel. Because they wanted to reach as many people as possible in preparation for Jesus' return. So we need that sense of urgency. And I believe Mother has that sense of urgency. But I also believe Mother sees the blessing that we've been given, sees the golden era that we are living in, and is confident that all these things are possible, even in a short time, because of the blessing of heaven. So these are the ways in which I reflect on these words. This is not just a blessing for us. It's a blessing for others. And they should know it while Mother is alive. There are no words to describe the world right now. In all respects, it has reached an end point. It is the end of the line, Mother says. That is why I have said that all religions, races, and nations have reached their final destination and must disembark. That means get off the boat. We've arrived. The boat has arrived at the port. Get off the boat. Disembark. Comes from getting off the boat. Where should they go after disembarking? Where should they go? They should find true parents. True parents is the only path to the future, the only path to life. So the ship of human history has arrived at the port, and the name of the port is True Parents. Simple. Finding true parents is the only path to the future, the only path to life. So it is an immense honor to have participated in the earthly providence of true parents. Okay, let's understand this. True Parents is the name of the port. But that's not the end of it. That's the beginning. Finding true parents is the only path to the future. So True Parents is the beginning point to the future. So your creativity is needed. Your destination of human history is the port of True Parents. But your future now depends on you understanding where you are and where now you need to go. You need to create the heavenly kingdom. There's a lot of work to do, guys, and it's a joyful work that we've been given to do. But it's impossible if we get off at the wrong port, or if we stay on the boat and miss the port, right? So we have to find true parents and then build the future. So to be able to do this, right now while true parents are alive is an incredible, incredible honor. An immense honor, Mother says. Immeasurable honor. What kind of life will your descendants be able to lead with pride? Aren't you looking forward to seeing that? So, your descendants will be coming from all this work. Guys, I know there's many limitations, there's many obstacles, there's many stubborn people, there's many different concepts that get in the way. Okay, fine. If you've got a better idea, fine. Mr. Religious Leader so-and-so, fine. Mr. Christian, fine. Mr. Muslim, fine. Mr. Jew, fine. Mr. Buddhist, fine. Mr. All these things, fine. Please understand that all your prayers and all your conditions and all your sacrifice have been leading up to this point. The systems of faith that brought you here are not the purpose of your religion. Arriving at this port was the purpose of those things, arriving here. And there is space for your faith worship and your ideas. There's space for that here. But just get off the boat. Understand that Heavenly Parent is our common parent and that true parents are the embodiment leading us to the future. But we need you to go forward. Even true parents need you to help now create the heavenly kingdom that heaven has determined will happen. Not my idea, not Muhammad, peace be upon him, not his idea, or Buddhist idea, or Confucius idea, or even Jesus' idea. It's not even true parents' idea. It's God's idea. Heavenly Parents' idea. Not my idea, that's for sure. So, depending on what you do now, your children will lead into the future. So you want to see your children lead futures of pride? Are you looking forward to seeing that? If you're looking forward to seeing that, then we need to raise them in that way, that we need to live them in that way, and we need to multiply those who do that. If so, what should you do? Have a grateful heart every day, Mother says. You must create as many such instances when we can spend time together as we are doing now. She's having this Thanksgiving meal together. Working to fulfill Heavenly Parents' wish. Our joy will come from working together towards Heavenly Parents' wish. Not my wish, not your wish, not somebody else's partial wish. Heavenly Parents' wish. True parents' wish and the wish of all the people. What does that mean? True parents' wish and Heavenly Parents' wish are one. And what is the wish of all the people? The wish of all the people is the only wish that is universal to all people. It's not the wish of one person. It's not the wish of one movement or one people. All people. That's the only wish. The only wish that can possibly be the wish of all people is the universal wish. So what is that? It's true parents' wish. And what is that? Heavenly Parents' wish. Heavenly Parents' wish. Therefore, what should you do? To begin with, ensure you are able to achieve results you are proud of in all aspects of your work. Some aspects? All aspects? Who? That he's proud of, or she's proud of, or you're proud of. In essence, this nation must become one that attends heaven, the Heavenly Parent and true parents. Your nation must become one that attends heaven, Heavenly Parent and true parent. Okay, let's just get straight. Do you think it would be healthy for your nation to be a nation that attends heaven? Let's just start there. I think it would be good, right? The reason this must be achieved is that we must be able to stand in a position of which God can be proud when we dedicate the Chonwon and the Chonil Sanctum on May 5 next year. So what will you do in a way that you can be proud of by that time? Not just what will you do, okay. Also, what will you give? We've been asked to give something, right? This is our third HJ Love offering, right? That we've been preparing since the beginning of the year. What will you give that you can be proud of? And how many will participate in that? But not just what will you give. Who will you be? Who will you be? What kind of person will you be between now and May 5? What kind of people will we be before heaven? What kind of conditions are we offering? What kind of ways are we changing? In some ways we're getting better. Maybe in some ways we're getting worse. So let us really reflect. Who will we be? Will we be, let me ask you, will we be people who are thinking and acting and implementing with hearts of gratitude? Honoring heaven, honoring Heavenly Parent, true parents, honoring our parents, honoring one another. Does that sound bad? Okay, that sounds really good. The problem is it's not so easy. It's not going to be easy if we're waiting for everyone else to do it first, if we're waiting for our leaders to do it first, if we're waiting for our elders to do it first, if we're waiting for our spouse to do it first. Let us truly become people that can stand before the unveiling of the Chonwon next year proud. Proud. Thank you for your tireless efforts, Mother says. From now on, let us completely commit to restoring not only this country, but also the entire world. Because there's no such thing as restoring your country if it's only for your country's sake. You must restore your nation with heart of putting that nation on the altar of the world for the sake of the world. Otherwise, there's no condition of a heavenly nation in the ingredients of your nation. We must strive only for victory, Mother says. Wouldn't God say that? It's true. No matter how desperate you think the situation is, you must know that God would look upon you and say, victory is the only option. God is not capable of partial dream, partial victory, partial good things. Will you do it? Everyone says yes and applauses. So, based on that standpoint, please make your resolutions and take action accordingly. In doing so, I sincerely hope that you will be able to harvest the many fruits that heaven has been hoping to see. In doing so make your resolutions, because in doing so, I sincerely hope that you will be able to harvest the many fruits that heaven has been hoping to see. I believe heaven has already been preparing the fruits, and it is our work to harvest them. And if we can do so with gratitude, I believe that those steps of gratitude will guide us to the doors to knock on, guide us to the paths to walk down, guide us to the people to meet that will reveal the very fruits that you are looking for, because those fruits have been prepared by heaven. The conditions that I need to make in order to go there are the resolutions of gratitude and determination that will guide me there surely. Just think about it from this point. In your nation, right? Whether you have 1 billion people in your nation, or 30 million people, or 100 million people in your nation, regardless of how many members you have among you today, how many people do you think God has prepared? How many people do you think heaven has prepared? How many people are kneeling at their altar of prayer, or riding their bicycle, or walking out under the trees, or driving in traffic in their car, hitting their steering wheel in a frustrated prayer, asking heaven for answers to deeply rooted questions that they have not been able to answer yet, but they know that the answer is around the corner. They're praying for this answer. They're praying to meet heaven. They're praying to meet Heavenly Parent and true parents. Actually, they're praying to meet you. How many people in your nation do you think heaven has prepared? 100? 1,000? 1,000,000? These aren't the people that you should think of as just being followers. There's people who heaven has prepared to help us lead and help Heavenly Parent spread the good news of the rising sun, spread the good news that the harvest has come. This is the time when, with our resolve and our footsteps of gratitude, our heartbeats of gratitude, our arms interlocked in unity with gratitude, thinking and acting and implementing with gratitude, unfolding the beauty and bounty of the harvest in front of you. Harvest with gratitude the fruits that heaven has prepared. I believe is at a time of great joy, but also great urgency for us to really unite in heart with our true parents, with our beloved Mother, guiding us in this way. Thank you, Mother, and thank you, all of you. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful, blessed week. I pray that you, your family, your children, if you have children, are truly healthy, happy, and public-minded with this one heart together. Let us be grateful and make another great week. God bless you.